Hello, since there are already enough wars raging in our society today, I thought I'd fight mine on a digital battlefield instead. What better way to represent modern warfare better than Battlefield 6? However, when I played the campaign, I noticed that I could also command my squad mates. That gave me the idea, why should I do all the work myself, if others can do it for me? And that's how the idea was born to complete the Battlefield 6 campaign as a pacifist. First, let's set the rules. Rule 1, I'm not allowed to harm any enemies. Instead, I let my incompetent interns do the work. Destroying buildings is allowed, they're not alive. Rule 2, I'm not allowed to use any glitches. This rule mostly exists because I'm too lazy to check whether it's possible to skip large parts of the story. And rule 3, I'm playing on the lowest difficulty, why will become important later. You can find the unedited proof videos showing that I actually completed the challenge on my uncut channel. Now enough talking, let's get started. NATO has to evacuate the base with Raw and hand it over to Pacifist, the bad guys in the story. My team considers of stupid replacement soldier 24 and the black guy. But oh surprise, we get attacked. My teammates tosses me a weapon that I am not allowed to use, and off we go. This is basically what will happen most of the time. I sit in some corner while the others do the work, and very slowly at that, because these guys have absolute stormtrooper aim. We hop into a car and surprise, you don't have to kill anyone to get through this part. What a shock. After our little Mario Kart session, I have to mark 3 tanks for our jets. I can't cancel it, and technically I'm not harming the enemy. The jet is, so it's all fine. But surprise again, our jets get shot down. And now we have to blow up the servers ourselves. Not much happens. We go in, plant the C4 and then casually fly off in our helicopter. Yoink! Of course it's not that easy. We got shot down. I even gave a cool speech about how we Marines never give up, only to immediately give up, not fire a single shot and watch my teammates get slaughtered. I survive of course, the story can't just end here. Big plot twist, right after mission 1 we were the black guy all along, and now every AfD voter has a reason not to buy the game. Between missions we also see some short present day cutscenes, but nothing interesting happens yet. Mission 2 and the AfD voters get a second reason not to buy the game, because this time around we're playing a woman. Quick parachute jump and we immediately run into the first big problem, this machine gunner. Luckily you can move down earlier so that your teammates can take out the other enemies, but this guy is outside their attack range. And here's the issue. It's impossible to destroy his turret, which means he just stands there forever. Moving on isn't an option, because without killing him we can't open this rusty gate. Pushing him away doesn't work since we can't even reach his position, so there is no other way, we have to shoot him. Which means, can you complete Battlefield as a pacifist? No, not really. But let's see how far we can get anyway. A bit further into the mission, we're sitting on a tower and are supposed to support our ground troops. Unfortunately, you can't leave the tower and take matters into your own hands. After a long wait, 3 more enemies have to die, because our teammates keep shooting at invisible targets. This includes the sniper here, the guy on the vehicle mounted MG. Fun fact, if you shoot him, the car just explodes, which is pretty funny. And then there are these 3 grunts. In gameplay you see me take out 2 of them, but one of those kills is completely unnecessary. I double checked. You only actually need to kill the one soldier who keeps firing rockets at you. After waiting a bit longer, the path is finally clear, so through dark tunnels, briefly breaking our legs, through a museum, letting lots of enemies in the dark get taken out by others, maybe a little motivational dance, and I even found a way to vent my frustration. Finally reunited with the other group, we storm the rest of the enemy base, grab the C4 and blow up the turret. Run past way too many enemies, and maybe we make it 2 turrets, just because the explosions are so funny. Then we're told to eliminate all remaining enemies, but there aren't any left. Except the ones that I ran past earlier. After running all the way back, we finally eliminate all remaining objectives and complete mission 2 with a total of 4 kills. Mission 3, and we're basically doing a modern D-Day. It's kind of funny how they tell you to shoot the sea mines, because if you don't, nothing actually happens. And just like in the previous missions, we start off with a bit of a downer. None of our D-Day buddies are going to destroy those 3 gun turrets. In the background you can see the gameplay sped up to 900%. So yeah, we're killing these 3 people. Next segment, next problem. Once again, no one is helping us. I was this close to shooting someone myself when Lopez suddenly gets out and helps us. It took a long time and reset because I had taken too much damage from earlier attempts, but Lopez actually managed to kill all soldiers all on his own. Hopefully that guy learned not to keep tomatoes under his armor. Then Romantic Lopez gives the brilliant order for the obviously wounded soldier to apply pressure on his wound. Why doesn't the perfect healthy soldier resent to the turret do that? Our journey ends here anyway. We continue on foot. Lopez, the incompetent piece of Salak sludge. Because of you, the guy probably bled out just because you decided to hand off your job to someone which is clearly shot in his arm. Sorry. That was some leftover frustration from earlier, where I had to watch this guy for 30 minutes as he failed to hit the easiest targets. So moving on by foot, I come across a gentleman who apparently misses the memo of how physics works. A little bit of art later, and we hit the next problem. Just like in mission 2, the enemy is outside the range of our allies. Even tried getting him blown up into the air by enemy fire, no luck. And just when all hope seemed lost, I tried to take him out using my repair tool, only to realize that you can actually destroy the turret, unlike the one in mission 2. That means no kill required, and one step closer to staying a pacifist. Okay, sure, it's technically property damage, but that's in the fine print. Now our tanks can move forward, and I do what every engineer player does in the multiplayer lobbies: stick to the tank like a mosquito, except instead of giving malaria, I'm delivering repairs. After way too much of that, we still have to clear out an alley where I contributed a lot, obviously. Finally done with the escort mission, we even met the main villain in the game, let's call him Jochen. Very likable guy, great for conversation. Trying to just run past everyone. Of course I die, which won't be a rare occurrence, but eventually we make it to Jochen's room, only to realize he's gone. Well, the story can't end just after 3 missions, can it? Back to the present timeline, something happens again, blah blah, someone sold cover-up takes to packs, yada yada. Now on to mission 4. And hey, it's a stealth mission, we even get night vision goggles. So that must mean we won't have to kill anyone, right? Nope, that first soldier has to go because somehow he hears you no matter what. Same thing here, if you miss a shot, you automatically fail the mission. Surprisingly, we can leave those two alone and only have to take out the one target here. A bit of electricity roleplay later, and we still get exposed on our secret mission, which really makes you wonder what the first 3 kills were even for. We find the target person, and with his last breath he tells you to like the video. Not my will, his will. However, our intelligence allergic teammates somehow misunderstood that. Of course, I sneak perfectly past all the enemies, and naturally our escape plan is amazing, and immediately goes up in flames. Time for plan B. But a certain someone doesn't stick to plan B and promptly catches a bullet. Lopez, that's points off for your performance. I, on the other hand, was way too lazy at that evening to do anything productive, so I just hid in a corner until someone knocked over my bike. I redecorated Lopez's room a bit, and being the kind person I am, I even carved a cross into the wall next to him to signal his immediate end. At the end of the mission, of course, my teammates is too fancy to shoot the helicopter down, which means another kill goes onto the Pacifist record. But hey, we finally make it out of here with 4 more kills added to our count. Back in the present timeline, there's more blah blah and suspicious towards Mrs. I'm definitely not the main villain here. Keeps growing. In the USA, we get to admire our ship, which will definitely not be used against us. Then I get talked at for a while, storm the wrong house, and pick up a warhammer. Naturally, this leads to some renovation work, which we carry all the way up to the roof. After that, we have a little chat with Jochen, where he delivers the classic villain monologue. In the enemy secret tunnel, I also test how effective their traps are, and I have to say, they all seem to be malfunctioning somehow. Did you know that the interns following you around can actually die? I didn't, but hey, at least now I finally have a purpose on the team besides giving attack orders. Then something truly unexpected happens. German trains actually run on time. It's so shocking that we just stare in disbelief and then chase it after with our Fiat Punto. After a solid round of Mario Kart 9, we get hit by a tank. So it's back on foot again. Luckily, we still have a private helicopter to continue following the train. But clearly the train arriving on time cannot be allowed, so we blow at the bridge. To everyone currently dealing with a 30-minute delay, sorry about that. As a proper onlooker, I of course have to check it out more closely and do some parkour on the way there. Naturally, we grab a few souvenirs along the way, and then something, let's call it an oopsie, happens. I'm not entirely sure how to count it. It's a death in a cutscene, but since our character actually shots the enemy, I'm just counting it anyway. Fun fact, in my playthrough I apparently drowned in the water because my game crashed. Well, I guess that's the bad ending for Battlefield 6.
Komm schon, Carter. Du wirst noch gebraucht.
On the way to the president, I have a bit of fun with the enemy sniper and even play some piano. Once we arrive at the fire station where the president is hiding, we're warmly welcomed with a gun. And can we just take a moment to acknowledge that this little kid up in front of us is supposed to be the head of the presidential security? No one can take that seriously. That would be like giving someone who's already burned millions a top level EU position. But hey, the 3 helicopters we call in naturally get blown out of the sky by drones, so we now have to take out the pilots ourselves. Luckily our C4 is apparently explosive proof. I even pressed the detonation button again for dramatic effect, even though it does absolutely nothing. Then we get another vehicle segment where the enemies are so dumb they basically drive themselves to their deaths. In our little Mario Kart session we're only in second place, so our driver decides to take a shortcut, which of course means we're back on foot again. Running through the tunnels again. Thanks for that. But hey, at least no blue shell can hit us down here. In the tunnels, I sneak past every single enemy, just like outside. The problem is that the soldier and the vehicle don't get out or despawn. Which means A, I had to figure out why the mission wasn't progressing. B, run back 2 minutes through the level to find those idiots. And C, run all the way back again. But now we can finally continue with the enemy siege. Personally, I took the opportunity to test the durability of those mounted binoculars. Gotta say, they're not exactly stable. That will cost extra. After the enemy tank is finally destroyed, the president is saved. But we still have a meeting scheduled with the main villain. First he fixes my teeth, saving me a dentist bill. Then he brings along a friend who immediately shoves a gun in my face. As a weapon enthusiast, I can appreciate the passion for sharing your hobby, even if it is a little bit intense. In the end, the villain and my boss have a little moment together, and after that encounter, I'm actually offered the chance to join the bad guys. Honestly, why not? Unfortunately, things get a bit too intense between those 2 lovebirds and their knife king, and my boss ends up bleeding out. Well, at least he died doing what he loved. Back in the present timeline, not much happens except
Ich bin eine Patriotin, verdammt!
America, fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah!
yeah, but that's what they all say.
Die Zelle in Brooklyn war nicht ihr letztes US-Team.
New mission, new luck. Time is for us to go in a tank. But hey, at least we've got some friends with us. After a bit of parking and driving in circles, we roll into the city where I can discover that these stations can actually repair the tank. Good to know. Being a tactical genius that I am, I grabbed the best possible camouflage for our tank in an urban environment, a tree.
Ich bin der Busch! Ich bin der Busch!
If it worked in Command & Conquer with the French Mirage tanks, surely it will work in the 21st century too. I mean, who hasn't seen the tree casually speeding at 80 kilometers per hour in a one-way street where the limit is 30? Eventually, it's back on the foot, and well, I just run past every single enemy. I'm also not entirely sure where all our soldiers suddenly come from, considering that 3 seconds earlier there was about 20 enemies between me and our allies, but hey, the pilot is rescued and that's all what matters. Back in the present timeline, there's a bit of bragging going on and our
Ich bin eine Patriotin, verdammt!
America, fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah!
lady just runs off from her own security. Kinda suspicious. Next mission, and we immediately hit the first problem. We're stuck in a drought and have to take out 4 soldiers. There's no way around it, so that's 4 more kills added to our total. Oh, and I discovered that you can blow yourself up. Pretty funny, not gonna lie. With another collectible in my pocket, I then get on a walk across the fields for 1 to 2 minutes. I honestly don't know why. No dialogue, no plot, nothing. I mean, I fast forward it in the background, but it still feels kinda unfinished. This is the part where the mission opens up a bit. We have to destroy 3 anti-air guns and as you can see, they are heavily guarded. Then I had this lovely moment of betrayal. I get revived only to be blown up again 3 seconds later. But hey, at least the first AA gun is down. For the second one, we take a shortcut through these tanks. I mean, what else did you expect? And I got a nice reminder of why you shouldn't drive a car in this mission. Luckily, I can take out the next AA gun with the drone, and the third one wasn't much of a problem either. Now we get to a section I was actually worried about. I thought I have to destroy all the vehicles myself. Plot twist, you can have your squad do it. And I also discovered that you can give more commands than just attack. There's grenade for the assault class, demolition for the engineer, smoke from the support, and scouting for the sniper. Nice of the game to teach me that in the second to last mission. With that, tanks become much easier to destroy. Lopez, you absolute... Next problem, the sniper. Every single one of my so-called teammates just refused to do anything, so I have to kill him myself. And no, you can't just run past him, the game instantly kills you if you try. Then there's another segment with those rocket launcher systems, but at least we already know we don't actually need to use them. Except for these 2 helicopters that are too fancy to come closer. Unfortunately, there are also outside Mr. L's range, so we have to take them down with the rockets after all. After a bit more running past enemies, I discover something new. If all of your teammates are dead and no one can revive you, the mission fails. You learn something new every day. After a not so great jump, the last AA gun is finally destroyed. Now we reach the bridge because of course there are AA tanks waiting there, and I realize the guy with the rocket launcher isn't here. Even if you offer him a ride, he refuses it and just start running. So I had to push him like 200 meters. I think you can imagine how the attack went. Finally, with all tanks destroyed, we get to do a little jump and even squeeze another round of Mario Kart. Back in the present timeline, it becomes clear why
Patriotin, verdammt!
America, fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah!
might actually be the villain. Honestly, not exactly a shocking twist. Final mission, and it opens with an absolute cinematic scene where walking through heavily artillery fire and of course not getting hit, because we are the main characters after all. A few minutes later we have to take down a jet, and I don't think I need to explain that none of my squad members can hit it, considering they're already struggling with enemies standing 10 meters in front of them. So, boom. At the first missile site, Havoc tries to defuse it, and can we just point out that our entirely bomb disposal unit consists of exactly one person who is also actively fighting in the middle of the combat. If he gets shot, the entire mission fails, but hey, we're the main characters, so nothing will happen anyway. We speed over to the second missile in the tank, help Havoc with the defusal, and then it's reach into the enemy bunker. Quick motivational speech, though Havoc didn't seem too particularly impressed. Then it's time for the final part of the game, and honestly it's mostly just walking forward and watching. What did you expect? But there he is, the big bad villain, wounded, begging for his life, saying he was just a puppet and blah blah blah. The only important thing is Havoc shoots him, not me. Then we get the dramatic exit scene, and Havoc, buddy, you shouldn't kept your mask on. You just lost 500 aura from this move. But now everything comes together. PAX was actually created by a powerful Dagobert Ducks and the CIA, so the USA would have an enemy to unify against it. And she was part of the whole system. As a pacifist, I can of course look past that. What I can't ignore, however, is that she didn't like the video or subscribe to my channel. And that, I'm afraid, is a crime I cannot leave unpunished. So I guess I have to make one last kill. See you all next time. Bye bye.
Mehr zu sagen.